Alright class, today we're going to learn about how natural changes to the environment, like floods and droughts, can affect the living things that call that environment home. These events might happen suddenly or over a longer time, but they can cause some plants and animals to thrive, while others might struggle, have to move, or even die. These changes show us how everything in nature is connected in systems and cycles. Let's start with floods. A flood happens when there's too much water, usually after heavy rainfall or when rivers overflow. When a flood occurs, the ground gets covered with water. Some plants, like certain grasses or trees that are used to wet environments, might do well in these conditions. They can thrive because they need a lot of water to grow. Animals that live in watery habitats, like frogs or fish, may benefit from floods because the extra water expands their habitat. But not all organisms do well in a flood. For example, small animals like rabbits or insects that live in dry areas may have to move to higher ground to escape the water. If they can't find new homes quickly, they may not survive. Even plants that prefer dry soil can be damaged or killed if their roots are underwater for too long. So, while floods bring more water, which some plants and animals need, they can also force others to move or perish if they can't adapt. Now let's talk about the opposite of a flood, droughts. A drought happens when there is not enough water, sometimes for months or even years. Without enough rainfall, the soil dries up, rivers shrink, and plants can't grow as they normally would. During a drought, animals that rely on water for food or shelter, like fish or amphibians, may struggle to survive. Plants that need a lot of water might die because their roots can't get enough moisture from the soil. However, some organisms are well adapted to droughts. For example, cacti and other desert plants thrive in dry conditions because they've developed special ways to store water and survive with little rain. Certain animals like camels or desert foxes are also adapted to live in dry areas where they can go for long periods without water. They have special ways to conserve water in their bodies, allowing them to thrive while other organisms suffer during a drought. These natural events, floods and droughts, are part of larger environmental patterns. They show how life on Earth is connected in a cycle. When one part of the system changes, it affects everything else. Some plants and animals are built to handle these changes, while others aren't as lucky and may need to move or find new resources to survive. For example, when a drought hits, some animals may migrate to new locations in search of water, just like how some plants might wither while others keep growing. In the end, floods and droughts are natural processes that show us how organisms adapt to the environment and how they either thrive or struggle based on those changes. These events teach us about the delicate balance that exists in nature and how the environment is always changing. Now think about this. If you were an animal, would you be able to thrive in the new conditions, or would you need to find a new place to live? What do you think?